Hi, I'm Ron Hiesel, the owner of the mill in St. Johnsville, New York, and it was built in 1835, and the mill is here. It's a large stone mill that sits right alongside of Timmerman Creek. Over on the left is a barn that was built for a cow many years ago. We've lived here since 1988 and love our place. It's quiet and it's very unique. Over on the extreme left is the miller's home, and that has numerous rooms and is immaculate inside. Behind the mill is a carriage house that is essentially a 3-car and a half garage. And then behind it is the hog house, which was built in 1888. The road going down to here is really Mill Road, because this was the only way that the farmers could bring their grain to this stone mill. Now, if you look back at the website and you click the mill interior, it shows you, first off, the second floor, and this is the kitchen that my wife makes fantastic desserts. All of the benches and work surfaces are rock hard maple, and above the surfaces is the funnels that were used to direct the grain into the various bins. There is 2 stoves and 2 refrigerators, along with the original equipment that did the grinding and the separating of the flour. And then there's occasional fish tanks around. All the wiring is brand new and all controlled by dimmer switches, so you can make a interesting look to the place at night. Going to our next page is, on the first floor, is our original electrically operated grinder that ground the flour. And this was one of the first electrical powered mills that was used right after they got electricity in Beardsley Castle, which is right nearby. Looking here at the other picture is a machine that took the grain and rolled it, and so it's a roller mill. And then after it was done here, it fell through the floor into a bin down below, and then from the bin it got into an elevator that was on the left, and they would bring all of the material to the top floor where it was saved, since each farmer wanted to have his own flour ground and brought back to him. They didn't want to mix with any other farmers because each farmer felt that his grain was the best. And so you always had to keep all of the flour separate. They weighed all of the material coming in and going out, and the bags in those days weighed 140 pounds, which was quite heavy. This is the first floor, looking across as you'd come in the door. Way over on the left is an atrium, where at the moment we have 5 large fish in there. And way over on the left wall, we have a cabinet that supplies our materials for ice cream and desserts that are available on this floor. In the center, you can play pool, and way over on the right is an old press that it was used to make charts. The next picture shows a section of the first floor bathroom, and this is a half bath, and it is quite unique and used to be used as the office for the mill when it was operating back in 1830. And the floor even shows where there used to be a potbelly stove in here, and they had a little window where they could look out and see who would just arrive to the place in their carriage and was ready for business. The next photograph here shows the kitchen, again from another angle, and we'll show you at the very edge here in the back is really the front of the mill and overlooks the driveway. In the center is an island, and it's great for making desserts and breakfast and whatever, with the two stoves, are gas and electric, and right around the corner here is the two refrigerators. In the back far corner is a bathroom, another half bath. There is a half bath on the first floor and the second floor, and the top floor has a full bath. In and around the back edge here is a washer dryer. So all of your needs are taken care of. When you walk up the steps to from the first floor to the second floor, you have a breakfast nook, and you can look out and see the driveway and see all the birds outside and all the various seasons. Behind you here and to the back is the door to the half bath that's on this floor. This is looking towards the east, and the waterfalls are right out the windows here that you'd look out of. And on the right again is our kitchen island, with a giant island and workspace on the left. This is in the back of the first floor and shows a place where you can eat, and it's sort of a little dining area. And on the left is the very old equipment. One good thing about a mill is they never really threw anything out. And when a machine was outdated, they just put the newer machine next to it, or they slid it aside. So this machine here that you see on the immediate left is the oldest machine that was used to separate the flour from the chaff. And then it just shot out on the floor in those days. When that was no longer in use, they put a bigger, more modern machine right next to it. So you have all the history here from 1830s on. This is still on the second floor. Way over here on the right is an 1800s washing machine. And you're also looking and can look down over the edge, and that's an atrium, and that goes down through the floor, and there's some fish down below, and it's quite interesting to watch the fish from up here. In the center of the room is a willowing machine, and as we know from history, there was different kinds and ways of willowing, and willowing is the process of separating the grain from the debris that's mixed with it. So this machine you would pour the grain and debris in the funnel at the top, and then there'd be the water wheel would turn this giant windmill here, and that would blow up through and create it's like a cyclone in this tank, and it would separate the chaff from the actual grain, whereupon it fell down through, and then there was jigglers here, and this you jiggle back and forth fast and separate the larger grain from the thinner grain, and then you would separate all of that, and you now have the grain where you can grind the grain and turn it into flour, and then the chaff that's left can be used for bedding for animals and whatever in different places in the barn. This is another view here facing south of a breakfast or dinner nook and a place to sit and relax. It's very quiet in a mill because the walls are 3 foot thick at the bottom and they taper up to about 18 inches at the very top of the mill. This is another view of that lunch place and dinner place. And this is the atrium on the left here, looking down through the floor, and that's lit up down there and you can see the fish. In the center is an old washing machine, and then in the back is a jukebox that holds another fish tank. And then looking out these windows, you'll see the waterfalls right below you. This is on the first floor, and it shows the beginning of the staircase going up to the second floor. And on the left is a glass case that holds various artifacts from Edison. The next scene here is the third floor, the top floor, where we live. And right in the center right is a jacuzzi. And it's rather new, by the way, and used very little. And then to the back of the trunk is the bed, and there's a king-size bed there. And straight back, there's a wood stove that is very handy for heating the place if you do not want to use the furnace. The furnace heat is deluxe and heavy duty and thoroughly heats the place. It is designed very similar to my years in the Navy, in the submarine corps, of having 2 stages, and you can heat the right or the left and stop this floor from getting overheated or whatever. So there's thermostats on every floor, plus you can adjust the heat to either side and get the comfort level you would like. The windows on the roof look out into the woods and open up, and they're Velux windows and are very handy on a hot day or a cool day. The whole place, by the way, is cooled with a whole house fan, and that brings in cold air from the stream and brings it all the way up through and cools the whole place. This is another view of our bed on the left, and then looking way to the back, there's a barber's chair and a place where you can wash your hair in that bathroom. This is a view of the hot tub, the jacuzzi. This is the third floor bathroom with a shower in the middle and double sinks on the right. Another view of the back of the third floor with the wood stove in the middle and various gym equipment for working out. Again, when you look out through the window, you'll see the waterfalls outside. This is a picture on the third floor of the left side of the mill, and there's our television. One of the problems you have in a mill this size is it's very quiet, and you really can't tell if there's anyone coming in the driveway or wanted to speak to you or whatever. There is a doorbell, of course, that plays a tune of the old mill stream, but you still don't know if somebody's coming in and waiting out there for you or whatever. So we have outdoor cameras that show us where people might be. And we have alert systems so we know when someone is pulling into the driveway, and we can see what they want. Because being a mill with 3 floors, it takes a bit to get down to the first floor and open the front door. We do have an intercom where you can talk to them, but you might want to go down and see them, so you really have to know when they come in, so you be prepared for that. This is a long view of the top floor. Over on the extreme left is my office, and then there's in the back left is a place for clothing. And up above you, there's a loft that is great for a clothing and storage. So the loft is about 2/3 of the width of the floor. This is the same floor looking the other way. And all the way down at the very end, looking out the window, is a view of the driveway and the house across the way, the mill house, and then to the right is the staircase going down. To the left, that's the bathroom that's on this floor. That's a full bath. You'll notice the floors are beautiful, and very wide boards were used since the place was built in 1830, and they had plenty of opportunity to get really nice wood. And this is the original floors, and my wife hand sanded them all because she wanted to have the grain show, and also all the blemishes that happened over all of those years. The stairway goes up to the loft up above.